are here we are here to teach you how to become unconditional lovers of your life. Many of our friends, they say, I need the condition to change. I need my bank balance to change right now. And if if the condition doesn't change, then I can't feel better. And then we say, well, then you're stuck. Then you're not the creator. You are the observer and the regurgitator of the reality that you're seeing. Reality is what it is, and you observe it, and you're creating by default. But you didn't come here to create by default. And in fact, that's what's been bubbling up within you. It's that desire or that rocket that you keep launching to have more clarity, to understand exactly how you are offering this point of attraction and exactly how you can go about this vibrational game that is your life experience. Ultimately, you must become unconditional because the conditions won't change until you feel different. And so we're saying, well, feel different first and then the conditions change. And many of our friends say, well, that is not going to work with me because I need to see it and then I'll believe it. But we say, well, you have to believe it first. You have to believe it first. You have to match the vibration of it. You have to see it. And then we explain to you, there is this vibrational reality. Your desire is real. It has been real. Source has delivered it to you. There is this creative process thing that is happening. So your desire is so real that it's called the vortex. It's spinning. It's gathering cooperative components. It's always spinning. It's always being updated as you continue to live life and launch more rockets. So this vortex is what we're always talking about. We're saying get into the vortex. Match your frequency to the frequency of the vortex, and then what's in that vortex will not. First of all, it will not only feel so good, but also you will start to receive the vibration of your source energy. And ultimately, isn't everything that you want to feel good? So then that must mean that the feeling good is what you're really looking for. So we teach you, be unconditional, because we understand that even in you being unconditional, you actually get everything that you want. Because in you being unconditional and you saying, well, I have the vibrational origin, I feel good and it feels good, and I have the feeling of the vortex no matter what, then everything that you want has to come to you because you're not offering resistance. You're not looking for your desires. You understand that everything that you want is for a feeling. So you're feeling the feeling that you would have when you would have all of your desires. You wake up, you go to sleep, and you say, wow, that was the best day ever, because you understand that it's all about being in this vortex. It's all about being connected to that source energy. It's all about having that control, because the control that you're looking for is the control of your own focus, not the control of reality. And as you have control over your focus, as you become this unconditional lover of life, then naturally you start to own your point of attraction. Naturally, your focus starts to yield you bigger results, and results that many people can see, that everyone can see, that are all physical. And what's really fun about this vortex is that we're not saying go into this vortex and escape your life. Because we're not talking, because here's the thing, life is coming at you. You can't turn off the stream of life. Life will continue to come at you. And so when we talk about the vortex, we're not saying put your head in the sand. We're just saying put your head in the sand up until the fact that you can get your connection. Because once you get your connection, do whatever it is that you can do to get your connection. Get your connection to the vortex. Then you understand this. Because you have this guidance system, you have these emotions. And if you're feeling, if you are more than your body, and you are, and if you still are connected to the energy that you were before you came into this body, then what that must mean is that you have another point of attraction that you must cooperate with, you must achieve harmony with, because that's what your emotions are all about. And we always talk about emotions because that's what's going on here. You have this emotional sensory sort of thing going on, and with your emotions, you're able to translate vibration, and you already know all this. So let's get to the part about the vortex. You see, the vortex is a state where everything that you want is there, but it's not like a fairy tale place. That's what's so interesting, is that it's not a fairy tale place. You don't go there and everything that you want doesn't come out. It's not that you get into the vortex and that's the whole reason why you came, because that's how people talk about alignment. They say, well, you actually came here to prove worthiness. You came here to go to the higher state. That's actually the goal of your life. So as you get into the vortex and you completed your whole life experience, but we're saying, well, when you came into this body, actually, you understood the vortex as being the state of non-resistance, and when you actually work to achieve harmony with your vortex, then the vortex would hold your frequency, and as you calibrated and stayed in the vortex, then all the subjects, all as a result of this tuning thing going on, all the subjects of the past, as you get out ahead of it, they just fall away. Those thoughts don't bother you. And as the vortex holds your vibration, as the vortex holds your awareness and your attention, because one, it feels good, and two, because as we describe it, it's who you really are. Who you really are is this vortex. That's that's your current reality. You want to connect because that's what your happiness is all about. It's about you becoming who you really are. Is you becoming what you have told Source that you want. Because here's the thing, it's not that you came in here with Source and Source was perfect and you're trying to become Source. It's not like that at all. It's that you're leading Source. Source is following your lead. The Source that you knew when you came into this body has become more as a result of you living in this experience. So it's not that we're telling you get into the vortex and stay there forever, because this is the piece. Get into the vortex and ultimately you're going to fall out. You're going to fall out, but that's okay. That's actually why you came. You came for the contrast. That was huge. That's true mastery. You did not come here to just stay in the vortex, because you came from a place of non-resistance. You came from the vortex and you came to have this energy splitting experience, but you just don't need to stay in the contrasting experience for too long. You don't need to stay in the asking problem mode forever. You didn't think you would make a career out of that. You thought, well, I'm smart. I'll have this guidance system. That is, we're talking from your perspective when you decide to come into this body. You said, I have this GPS system. I'll always be able to lead myself back to the vortex, because that's the most important thing to understand about your guidance system, is that where is it leading you? What is your guidance system? Where is it always leading you? What is it? What is it comparing? What is it comparing it to? What exactly is going on with your guidance system? Your guidance system is always leading you to the vortex, because the vortex is a place where it holds your vibration and tunes your frequency for you. And as you're in that place of non-resistance, because it feels so good, then you start to get ideas. Then the momentum starts to ensue. And now what we're saying is, the thing about the vortex is that you're going to fall out, but in you falling out, make the falling out time a lot shorter. Take the bounce and go right back into the vortex. Go with the rocket. Because usually, instead of going with the rocket, first of all, you get mad that when you think about the vortex, you think that in the vortex there's no contrast. You think the vortex is this place, and it's the most perfect non-resistant place. But ultimately, you didn't come to not experience resistance. You came for the resistance. You came because you knew that you could work your way around the resistance. You knew that you could follow the path of least resistance. You came here because you always understood, I'm an unconditional lover. So you always understood, I'm gonna feel good no matter what. Because the emotions, I would have more emotional conversations. It would be about emotions, not about thoughts. So the thing about the vortex is that it's not a place where you don't have contrast, because you're always going to experience contrast. It doesn't matter what type of success you've reached. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Everyone will experience contrast until they're not in this body anymore, because contrast is the name of the game. Contrast is what continues to make things interesting. Think about a picture. There needs to be contrast. There needs to be a balance between the elements, or else it's just one. Your eye can only see one thing. The contrast and the balance of the elements is actually what makes the image more interesting. That's exactly what's going on in this world today. That's exactly what's happening in your life experience. So the vortex, it's fine. In the enlightenment state, as you fall out, just go back in, because you fall out and then you beat yourself up for falling out, because you think that it's a bad thing. That's how we were just all going off on that tangent, talking about how there is resistance in the vortex. There is contrast in the vortex, because the vortex is in this perfect place that once you achieve, you're done, and you're looking at this life through rose-colored glasses. It's actually the place where you find your connection, and now when you're in your connection, now you have connection. Now you have power. Now you have insight. Now you have something to give someone. Now you have a new platform, a new perspective, the perspective. Now you have power. Now you have the power. It's like you plug yourself in. That's the thing about the vortex. The vortex truly is very mundane. It's actually what you're able to translate. It's actually what you're able to allow the momentum to. It's actually what you're able to create from that place of the vortex. Because look at the people around you. People are writing music. They're writing movies. They're doing a lot of things from the place of the vortex. And we're just saying that the vortex is an art form. It's the art of allowing. And as you step back away from your life and you make your priority to get your connection, to get in the vortex, then you understand the contrast is not a bad thing. Getting a flat tire is not a bad thing. Getting your bike stolen is not a bad thing. It's all working for you. If you can see everything as a good thing, as a thing that's working for you, then you would have the perspective that you came into this body with. That contrast would always serve you. That nothing could ever go wrong, because you were never going to get it done. And because there was no source of evil. Isn't that so interesting? There's no source of evil. There's no one out there who's putting things in, asserting things into your experience. It's not like that at all. It's just that there's a vibrational version of the presence of what you want, and there's a vibrational version of the absence of what you want. It's like the stick, and whatever you're matched to is whatever you get more of. And so we're saying, take more walks, read more books, journal more, drink more tea, do the things that feel good to you. Because while you're doing those things that feel good to you, you're actually giving yourself the opportunity to be in the vortex. And what we're saying today is that while you're connected to source energy, it's okay to follow. It's okay to experience the dips, because here's the thing: if the whole purpose of your life experience was to just come into this body and just achieve harmony with the vortex, none of you would have came. And in fact, all of you would have done that when you were young, because you were masters of it then. It's just that you keep falling out of the vortex, and instead of getting back up on your high horse, you get mad, you get upset, you think there's something wrong, and we think that's very interesting, because you don't need to beat yourself up, because your inner being is never beating yourself up. Your inner being will never join you in the beating up party, because your inner being is always unconditionally loving you. So you must learn how to unconditionally love, and you're getting better at that. You truly are. And one who's connected to the vortex, this is imagine if you're someone who, like, you want to be a really big writer, or even you want to be a really big singer, right? And so someone who's connected to the vortex, someone who has the, because when you're in the vortex, when you're regularly in the vortex, now you have the pure desire. Now you don't have access to those that you thought of yearning, because a thought of pure desire is fast. There's no resistance in it. Pure desire is, I'm gonna be the best singer in the world. I'm gonna be the best singer in the world. I'm gonna be one of the best vocalists of this time, and I'm gonna have lots of concerts that are sold out, and everyone's gonna love me. I'm gonna wear the best outfits. I'm gonna be revered for my masterful, vocalizations and my techniques. I'm gonna be known for being me. I'm gonna be known for being me. I'm gonna have so much fun, and everyone's gonna want to see me. And there's gonna be such a happiness at all of my, my concerts. That's someone who's connected to the vortex, because they're talking about what they want, and that's pure desire. There's no mixed energy in that. There's no split energy in that. So that's pure desire. And then there's yearning. Yearning is splitting your energy. Yearning sounds like, yeah, I'm gonna be the best singer in the world, but I don't really know how to sing, and I don't really know where I'm gonna start with that. So maybe I'll take lessons, but I want to be the best singer in the world. But maybe I'll, start small first. Maybe I'll do small venues first. Maybe I'll aim low first, and then you split your energy. And we're saying that's the difference between someone who also is powerful, but who dilutes their power with split energy. Because when you split your energy, you slow that desire down. You see, it's not that you're juggling many subjects at once. It's not that scattered energy kind of a feeling. You're actually splitting your energy a lot more than you realize, and that's what's slowing your desires down. But now, when you get into the vortex will tune your frequency. The vortex is the ultimate getting out ahead, because now when you take the time to have that slow conversation of talking about emotions, like clarity, like, how do I want to feel? Not what do I want to think, not what do I want to experience. How do I want to feel? I want to feel good. I want to feel satisfied. I want feeling satisfied. I feel ready. I just want to feel ready. I feel good. And as you start to have that conversation, as you slow down and you go general and you have that conversation, because now you understand, I need to get my connection, because that's what I really want. That's what it's like, a craving. I need to feel that connection. I need to feel that high. I need to feel that lifting feeling. That's what I want to feel. Then you now understand creation on a whole new way, because now you have connection. Now you have power. But when we mean power, we mean the power of your focus. You have power over the only thing that you need to have power over, which is your focus. Because you don't need to be law of attraction. You don't need to be the engine. You don't need to be the cooperative component, because when you're in this vortex, you don't see yourself as the one who does something. You see yourself as a dreamer. You see yourself as the pointer. You see yourself as a joyer. You have a lot of fun, because that's what the thing about the vortex is, that the thoughts of the past are going to come up, because you're always going to experience contrast. You're never going to be in a place where there's going to be no contrast, because that's not how this reality works, because you're all eternal. And so as you're eternal, don't beat yourself up for having quote-unquote low moments, because ultimately they're not low moments. Ultimately it's all relational, and ultimately it's all good, because even as you experience things that you don't want, you become more clear about what you do want. We're just saying, get connected and think about your desires. Have those pure desires. Have those pure desires. The number one thing that splits your energy is reality, is taking score of where your desire is, because ultimately your desire is not here. But the more you talk about that, the more it's not here. But the more you talk about the pure desire, and you leave the yearning piece out of it, because ultimately you're not this being who's walking around, who's split down the middle, who's empty and that needs to be filled, that needs this money and this money, who can't feel good until they have everything that they want. You're not like that. You're fully realized in the sense where you're going to your well, you're going to your replenishment mode. You're full of a connection to source energy. So now when you think about your desire, there's no yearning. There's no I need this now. There's only I want this. It's going to be fun when I have it. It's going to feel good. It's going to be easy. That's pure desire. That's because when you're in the pure desire, then there's no taking score. There's no where is it. There's no when is it coming. Because you can't enjoy the pure desire and split energy and talk about where it is without feeling it, without being very sensitive to it. So friends, you know how to do this. You understand this. You're going to get into the vortex. You're going to fall out. Don't beat yourself up for falling out of the vortex, because that's a piece. The contrast is what you want to make peace with, because there will always be contrast. But now you know how to get your connection. Now you know exactly what your connection is. It's that feeling good. Because sometimes your connection, sometimes being in the vortex will feel like satisfaction, passion, ease, bliss. Sometimes it'll be something really chill and moderate. Sometimes it'll be bouncing off the walls enthusiasm or eagerness. But ultimately it's all feeling good. It feels good, and that's what's more important. When you're in the vortex, you're more likely to tell the good feeling story. So get connected and let your inner being help you.